morning to everyone. Welcome back to the chat show. Cinema is a matter of what's in the frame and what's out. So, to know more about this, today we have Mr. Rajkumar Roy, the HOD of Film Studies Department in Chandigarh University, with us. So, a very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
I hope you are in pink of your health.
Thank you. Yes, I
So,
am.
can I start with the questions?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
So, the first thing that I want to ask you is who or what made you choose this field, the cinemas and the film studies?
You started off with a very wonderful line. You said cinema is what is inside the frame and what is outside the frame. So once you become aware of this, then ultimately there is a film and there is something which is your life. So I didn't choose films. Films chose me.
Okay.
I was watching films right from my childhood. I was very interested. I was very attracted to cinema. I wanted to make a film. So I joined a film school. Like you joined of course. I also joined a film school. I learned films. And I worked for many years. And at some point I wanted to get something more, so I wanted to teach.
Okay.
So I got into teaching. And now I've been teaching for the last 13 to 14 years. So it's been a long journey. But it started off from my childhood when I was fascinated by cinema, fascinated by films. And I've been watching them right from the beginning.
So, sir, whom do you see as your idol?
See, as an idol, because I am, in a sense, a filmmaker. So, in that sense, there are many filmmakers who are, who have inspired me, and who actually were very important for me to come into films. I saw their films and I was very fascinated. So there are many filmmakers. I can't just name one, but if you look at Indian filmmakers, I grew up watching filmmakers like Guru Dutt, filmmakers like Rajkumar, filmmakers like Satyajit Ray.
Yeah.
So these are the usual masters of cinema.
Yes.
And these are the filmmakers who ultimately inspire you. And there are many filmmakers abroad, there are filmmakers all over the world. Because I've been watching films, not just Indian film, but I've been watching films, world cinema. And when I'm teaching now also, I tell the students to watch world cinema. It gives you a perspective. And in that sense, there are many other filmmakers I like. Martin Scorsese is one filmmaker I've really admired right from my childhood. And there are many others.
So that, as you told, you are now in this teaching field. So, have you made any films, or have you directed or acted in any films or any?
Like I said, acting, you have to be very clear. There's a camera and there's something in front of the camera and there's something behind the camera. So we are all filmmakers, which means we have always been behind the camera.
Okay.
So in that sense, acting was not my, I was not aspiring to be an actor or something, but I've been, so it's been a long journey. I started off from after I passed out from film school, I worked in the industry. I tried to make a film, but like I said, the film industry is a very big,
Yes.
it's a big monolith, so you have to really,
Yes.
So after some time, I moved into advertising. I spent many years making advertising films. Then I got a little restless. I started making documentaries. I traveled and made some documentaries. Did all kinds of work. Never made a feature film in that sense. And that is something which is still there in my, in aspiration. That I really want to, before I die, I want to make a film. So that is something which is there. But I've made many ad films, documentaries, videos, and music videos, and things like that. So it's been a long journey.
I hope you make a blockbuster film in coming
thank
years.
You, thank you. It's almost in my bucket list. The first thing I want to do. But I've come close many times. But unfortunately, things didn't really work in my favor for many reasons. But then I came to teaching, and now I'm not making films, but my students are making films. So that is, in a sense, a surrogate filmmaking. That I'm not being able to make my students are making films.
Yes, sir.
So that gives me a pleasure, that gives me a satisfaction, and that is what I want to do now.
So now that you are the head of the Department of Film Studies, it is a very big thing. So students may come to you with their, they may be very conscious about how to do things, and they may they may not know many of the things. So how do you make them feel comfortable here?
That's very important. Ultimately, it's a creative field.
Yes.
Ultimately, we have all come here because we want to express something.
Yes.
We want to communicate something. We have stories to tell, and we want to tell them through films. So there is always a process of self-discovery. Students, when they come here, they are a little scared because they're scared of being judged. They are scared whether they have the creativity in them. So ultimately, for me, I am not teaching them creativity. I am telling them of helping them to discover their creativity. Everybody has got creative
Yes,
ideas,
yes.
and so the whole thing more than teaching, it's more of a discovery. And I, as a mentor, I guide them. As a mentor, I share my experiences with them, and eventually they do settle down and they become a little bit comfortable. But yes, that initial hesitation that we have come into this creative field and can we create, can we become artists, can we do all those things? That is a process which a student has to go through. That is the biggest process,
Yes,
to
sir.
find the creative person inside you.
Yes.
That is very important.
So, sir, as I am also a media student, this question may be a controversial
Okay.
one, but as I am also a media student, I know there are many equipments like many cameras and many lights that we have to use in this field. So, is the university providing you with the proper equipment?
See, ultimately, cinema came out of technology.
Yes.
When you when you invented a camera which could record movement, it is technology. And since then, cinema has been evolving in terms of its technology. First there was film, then came video, then
Yeah.
now it's digital.
Yeah.
So the technology is constantly evolving. And because of technology evolving, the cinema also is evolving in terms of its language, in terms of its form. So cinema is much more directly dependent on technology.
Okay.
But in media, because you come from media has got many fields.
Yeah.
You have electronic media, you have print media,
Yeah.
you have so many platforms where you can do, which is what is called, there's a huge proliferation of media platforms today in the world. You have the internet, you have television, so it's really different. In cinema, you are depending on creating that image,
Yeah.
because you have to ultimately make these images. You're telling stories through images.
Yes. Yes.
So how you produce those images, that is dependent on the technology. You join the image and how you tell a story through
Yes,
images.
So, can I ask you a question about the industry? The
See, the
Tollywood.
problem, I have been, first I was in Bombay, so I was working in Bombay industry, I was working in, and then I moved to South. So I have seen Tamil industry. After working in South for many years in Chennai, I moved to Hyderabad. Then I saw the Telugu film industry. So wherever I was teaching, I was really trying to help the students of that industry, of that background. So my students earlier were Telugu students.
Yeah.
So they were making Telugu films. The problem with here is that Punjabi cinema, in terms of an industry, is not really developed.
Yeah, it is
So,
not.
so that is very important. That if the cinema of this state or around, doesn't develop, then it becomes a problem. But that is where our school becomes an important place,
Yeah.
because our students will go and make films, and hopefully they will rejuvenate the film industry. But the Punjabi film industry still has to be organized, and there are plans coming up.
Yeah.
The government is trying to come in and open a film city and things like that.
Yes.
So let's see how it goes. But right now, like I said, the Punjabi film industry has to catch up with the others. Everybody wants to go to Bombay. Everybody
Yeah.
wants to make a music video, and but the whole idea of Punjabi cinema, that has to really flourish before we can even think of
Yes.
having a very great Punjabi. Even though Punjabi has a good history of cinema.
Yes, it
There
has.
have been some good filmmakers, but as an organized industry, the way Telugu is, or the way Hindi is, or the way the Kerala, Tamil and Malayalam are, but it's not really. So that is one of the reasons I came here, because that was the challenge for me, to really try and see if as a film department we can contribute to the growth of regional cinema. Because I'm more interested in regional cinema.
Okay.
Not the Bollywood, as you call it. Everybody wants to go to Bollywood, but what about the regional cinema? Cinema of your own language, cinema of your own culture, of your own stories. These are things which is very important.
Sir, as you spoke of the Telugu movies and Telugu cinema, so nowadays we know Tollywood is dominating the Bollywood. So what are your views on that? Is this really gonna happen?
Ultimately, in terms of if you really look at the art of it, if you really look at the quality of films, I wouldn't say Telugu cinema is ahead. I think Hindi cinema, Malayalam cinema, Tamil cinema, look at OTT, all these wonderful Malayalam films.
Yes.
They are much more advanced in terms of quality.
Yes, sir.
So Telugu cinema, even though it has a very rich history, it has the biggest industry.
Yes.
The number of films that they are making every year is the largest.
Yes, sir.
So, but the quality still has to, really reach that level of of the other cinemas. Even though now Bahubalis and all those films have really brought Telugu cinema into this international
Yes.
limelight, with filmmakers like Rajamouli and those guys. I've come from there, so I've been working with the students of that. So a lot of my students are working with Bahubali, and they are assisting and they are working. And a lot of them have become Telugu filmmakers. So Telugu cinema, I think in the last 10 years that I taught there, I've been able to do a little contribution. Because my students have been making new films,
Okay.
and good films are coming out from Telugu cinema. But still, I have a lot of catching up to do. But it is the biggest in terms of
Yes.
money. It's
Yes,
the biggest
it
in
is.
terms of the scale and the number of films that it is making.
As you spoke of your students, what are the biggest achievement of you and your students that you have experienced?
I don't see the. For me, when a student discovers himself as a filmmaker, when he becomes confident of making a film, that is for me very important. Not the kind of film he makes. It's his growth. It is his, self-discovery process.
Yes.
If I have helped him, I feel very, fulfilled, in that sense. Even today, when suddenly one student will come from last 12 years, and he's making a film, and he'll come and touch my feet, and he says, "Sir, today I'm understanding what you taught me." So then, that is my moment of, of payback. That is,
Yes.
that ultimately, I see a student who is doing well, and he's making a film. He's got that confidence. I remember his first day in school, from being very shy and being
Yes.
very scared and not knowing what is happening, to now see a confident young man or a woman, and she is directing a film and doing something. That is for me. I've seen that growth. So that is, and I've contributed to some level in that thing. So that is for me the utmost satisfaction.
So, thank you so much, sir, for your answers. I would like to conclude this interview with, did you like this interview?
Of course, I like being in company of students. I just love seeing students learn. I just love seeing them discover things. So when you were setting up a frame, when you were setting up the light, and I could see the excitement, and I could see that is for me enjoyable. That is what I enjoy being with a student. Every teacher does that.
Yes.
For me, the best company in the world is when young students come and they talk to me, chat with me, discover films, and express themselves. So I have had a wonderful time. Okay, and in the sense, being with students, there's nothing new for me. Now I have to go and meet another
Yes.
student. But thank you very much
You're
for
welcome,
coming
sir.
in to me.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you for giving us a precious time.
Okay, all the best. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
That was quite a good interview. He rightly said that a teacher lives his dream in the dreams of his students. Thank you for joining in the chat show, and for more such interesting interviews, keep watching the chat show. Thank you.